All right. Thank you for joining us back here again. December, notice, plea. I will plea as soon as my accuser appears in file number ... Any woman enters a plea on my behalf, said woman bears liability. Notice, bill. I will file the bill at the end of file number ... See attachment. Attachment is gone. Sure might appear sometime. Notice, continual expense. I, man Andrew Tickle, give notice of continual expense, harm, injury, and financial loss. Thermal Belt Outreach Ministries. Andrew was going to a church for food, and when they found out that he got arrested for intent to distribute, they cut him off. He was still eligible, but they cut him off. Real Christian, huh? Way to go. And my guess is that they probably cut him off because somebody from the courthouse called down there. That's just what I presume, but I could be an idiot. Continual expense. Order to discharge. Seeing no accuser has appeared in said file number, I order said discharge of the file. Coercion. I believe that James T. Davis on 13 November used coercion and or extortion to solicit a behavior. Appearance. He appears on the record in search of the accuser. Fear. I fear for lives of myself and companion. Fear will not allow I to speak. You guys have scared me to death. You're locking me up for asking what did I do wrong and who did I do it to? Calling me insane. Getting me a psychological evaluation. I am scared to death at what you people might do. Mackenzie friend, man in trust, Jonathan Cross, next friend, evoked by court actions on 13 November 2017. See, this was something to make Andrew feel better because Mr. T didn't feel so good after they threw him in jail for a psychological evaluation. Imagine that. So he wished for me to step in, kind of like your right to counsel. So he filed a fair amount of stuff. Before the next time he went to court, kind of like, hey, you guys are blatantly running over the law all over this. Back off. Do they do that? No. Of course not. What good would the story be then?
Mr. Tickle, I'll give you another opportunity to address.
Oops.
I thought so.
Court and explain your conduct if you'd like.
Stupid idiot getting ready to ruin his life, be convicted of 7 year life in prison. That stupid idiot friend of yours.
Did you hear that? That's the attorney that the court is forcing upon Andrew Tickle. The only thing that gives them anything that looks like jurisdiction. The attorney already put in a motion for the last order and the last court date. And he comes over and calls Andrew retarded because Andrew's asking, what did I do wrong and who did I do it to and why do y'all keep harming me? Why you keep hurting me? But apparently he's retarded for that. And this is who the state wishes to force Andrew to pay, no matter how the case ends up.
Motion finds, and I'm going to ask you to make this into an order.
Alright, let's see what happens next.
Emphatically assesses the defendant as being fully competent to stand trial, stating that, quote, defendant understands the nature of proceedings against him, unquote, and, quote, the possible consequences of the proceedings, unquote, and, quote, he is able to apply his knowledge to his personal situation in regards to the upcoming proceedings, unquote, and, quote, he is able to communicate with counsel and assist in his own defense in a rational or reasonable manner, unquote, and, quote, is able to control his behavior and not be a disruptive, period, unquote. Next number, the defendant can speak English and can hear and has no inabilities to speak, hear, or understand. Next number, the defendant was able to follow the court's instructions to be seated and to write down certain answers to the court's questions. Next number, however, the defendant continues to refuse to directly communicate verbally with the court. And in open court offers no credible reason therefore. Next number.
Okay. Let me kind of explain what's going on with the paperwork that was just put in. Andrew is literally scared to death at this point of these people. Okay? You're going to lock me up for asking what I did wrong and who I did it to. He didn't want to speak. He didn't know what the right or the wrong thing to say was. He wished for me to step in as his counsel. See, what we had kind of planned and set up, because surely they wouldn't lock him up for exercising his right to remain silent. Like here in the United States, that is probably the one most fundamental, most principal rights I think everybody and their mom knows. Surely he wouldn't lock him up for that. Surely he knows, as a judicial officer, better than to lock somebody up for exercising their right to remain silent. So Andrew was going to whisper in my ear, and I was going to answer. Because obviously you saw me walk around with Magistrate Everett's little Miss Jody. Not that hard in law when you know. When you know. So after you hear his attorney come over and talk about how retarded he is, how stupid he is because he won't just plead guilty to not hurting anybody and just submit to the state for no reason, you then heard the judicial officer say, well, through the psychological evaluation, he understands and he's capable. Okay, here's the only problem, is that the psychological evaluator does not understand what they mean by understand.
Court, in open court, and on the record, advise the defendant of his right to remain silent. I didn't do that, but you do have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say may be used against you. However, that does not exonerate you to do so in answering my question. Do you choose to answer my question at this time?
You have the right not to speak, but if you don't speak, you're going to jail for 30 days because it is your right to remain silent. This was 3.5, almost 4 years ago. How much worse are courts today?
All right, the defendant continues to remain silent after having been advised of his right to remain silent and maybe what happened in court urging.
The defendant has remained silent after being advised of his right to remain silent. So we're going to throw him in jail.
That it is appropriate for him to answer and respond to the court's direct questions. The court, in open court and on the record, warned the defendant that his continued refusal to directly communicate with this judge verbally and his insistence on using a quote next friend or best friend to do so could be a direct criminal contempt, exposing him to possible fine and 30 days in jail.
Clearly, direct criminal contempt for exercising your right to remain silent. Oh, don't yell at me, everybody. I didn't know everything along the way myself. Here's an affidavit where I talk about what I witnessed, sworn and subscribed to in front of Magistrate Everett. Here is the criminal complaint, filed, sworn and subscribed to, with Jody Everett. Here is Linda's affidavit to be sworn in with the criminal complaint. Andrew filed some stuff about being a trustee, that he agreed under duress. This is that story that I was telling you about. He agreed under duress. December 21st. He does not wish to be the defendant, and he doesn't agree to be the defendant until the accuser appears. Kind of same stuff since the first court date. Court has enslaved him. The court has enslaved him. Andrew Tickle required to see a magistrate on December 13, 2017. Jeff Hunt committed coercion and extortion upon me. I require arrest warrant. December 21st. And I've been trying to get in touch with Andrew to have him verify this story for y'all. So if somebody's watching this and they know him, I would appreciate it if you had him get in touch with me. The way the story goes, and this is how I know Oracle and Baba and their family, is because the way the story goes was after he got out, he was telling the story of how a judicial officer, how a magistrate came back to his cell and told him that he would issue the arrest warrant if he wished to swear it out when he got out of jail. That's the story. I believe it. I was there. But I really wish that Andrew could verify it for you guys. But Mr. T doesn't talk to me so much anymore. You see, this is why it's such an emotional case. It's because this breaks up and destroys trust and friendships and bonds and family. These bad statutes, these bad statues, these bad gods. On New Year's Eve, Andrew's mom died. And the state took away his last days with her because he exercised his right to remain silent. The rest of this video will be in her loving memory.
Hey, see, look, now Mum's making a sandwich. Yum. Hello, Mum. It's Linda. Look at my sandwich. Hope you enjoyed your food.
Brought some liquor and I reminisce, 'cause through the drama I could always depend on my mama. And when it seems that I'm hopeless, you say the words that can get me back in focus. I was sick as a little kid. To keep me happy, there's no limit to the things you did. And my childhood memories are full of all the sweet things you did for me. And even though I act crazy, I gotta thank the Lord that you made me. There are no words that can express how I feel. You never kept a secret, always stayed real. I appreciate how you raised me and all the extra love that you gave me. I wish I could take the pain away. If you can make it through the night, there's a brighter day. Everything will be alright if you hold on. It's a struggle every day, gotta roll on. There's no way I can pay you back, but my plan is to show you that I understand. You are appreciated. Don't you know we love you, sweet lady? Place no one above you, sweet lady. Don't you know you love your sweet lady?